Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to see how we can use data table in ScreenFlow, and with the help of data table, we can do the mass update. So before I start, let's do a quick introduction. If you guys don't know me, myself Ankit Gangwani, I'm currently working at Slalom as a senior Salesforce consultant, and I'm based in London. So let's take a scenario. You have a requirement whether you need to update multiple records in same time. You don't want to go each record and do the update. So I have created a fiction requirement. Uh, let's say I have a position, I have a job which says technical architect Salesforce, and for this particular position, there are lots of job applications. So if I go to the related and you can see the job application. So if I just click view all, so you can see there are 10 job applications, but assume for a single position we can have n number of job applications. So for example, if this position has 100 job applications and out of 100 only 10 applicants are those whose resumes get selected. So you can see the status I have already set to schedule interviews. That means all these 10 job applications are currently into the interview process. Now, at the end, once all the interview is done, only one or two candidates may get hired, or the remaining eight or nine will get rejected. So now I have a requirement that I don't want to go to each job applications and to set the status to hired or set the status to rejected manually, but I would like to have a screen which asks me to select the number of job applications, and then also ask me what status I would like to set, and maybe we can set some comments at the end. uh, but I don't want to use any single line of code, so we need to achieve this with flow, and we can see how we can achieve this with screen flow with the help of data tables. So let's get started. So for that, I am going to create a screen flow. So before I create a screen flow, I need the screen flow to be available on the position object, so I can fetch the number of job applications which are there for this position. So let's create a new flow. I'll create from the scratch, choose a screen flow. Now the first thing I will do here is create a variable record ID, because when I place this screen flow on the position object and I need the record ID of the position object. So that's why I'm creating a variable called record ID. I'll just set text and I need to mark it as available for input because I need the record ID from the record page. Let's say done. So the second thing I will do now, if I have a record ID, what I need to do now is get all their job applications. So for that, I'm going to use get records. Let's say get job applications, job applications. So now I'm going to filter here with the position. So if I see position, I can just say record ID. Sorry, I need to remove this. And let's select all the records. I will do another filter here. Let's say we have 10 job applications, but assume the one gets hired and the 9 needs to be set to rejected. So let's say you can see some name, there is my name as well. So let's say if I go to my job application and change the status to schedule interviews to, let's say, hired. I'm just being selfish here, and why not? Let's say congratulations, you are hired and save. So now if I go back to my position and let's say see all the job applications, so I want the flow to only fetch those records who are currently in the status of scheduled interviews, so that we don't update the records which are other than scheduled interviews. So let's go back and let's say status equals to schedule interviews. So now we are expecting all the 9 job applications in the flow, sort by not sorted, all records, and done. So now once we have all the job applications, let's do a decision element to check whether the job applications are exist or not. Job applications exist. Let's say yes. So here we are going to check if the job applications are actually exist. Is null, false. So this means I am checking whatever the list I have, whatever the records I have in this. I'm just checking this should not be null. If this is not null, that means I have the job application records into this list. If it is null, then we can just simply say no job applications exist. So default outcome means there are no job applications exist. Some issues with my mic. Let's say I'll just drag a display text by saying no job applications exist for this position. No message. You can choose any name. uh, no records exist. Done. And when we have the job applications exist, then here is the main thing comes. So we are going to display all our job applications with the help of data table, so that the recruiter can select the number of job applications and then set the status to rejected, and also they can put some comments. So now I'm going to set up a data table. This might be a tricky part. So let's say I want to display as job applications. Use label as the table title. Yes, I want to display job applications here. API name, I can just do the same, job applications without any space. Now let's do the configuration. So it says source collection. So the collection I will use, where I use the get records. So this job applications. So these job applications are related to particular position, and the status should be schedule interviews. So then we can get all the job applications. Configure rows. I will let the user select multiple rows, and then minimum selection should be one. That I want that one record should be selected. And then if I go and configure columns, let's say I will display the name of the candidate. Oh, there is some error. That's fine. I will just say done. Let's select some name of this screen. Job applications screen. Done. Let me open again. If I go now and configure the columns, let's say I will display the name of the candidate. Yes, candidate is there. I'm not able to select more columns. This is something wrong. Candidate. Done. Yes, now it's all fine. So I can see the candidate here. Then I will say, let's say email, the email of the candidate. Yes, there is definitely some errors in this. Let me cancel this and let me save this flow first. So let's say screen flow mass update applications, save. I think this flow needs a refresh, so let me refresh the page. And if I go back to my data table, configure rows, everything is there, configure column. So let's try to set now. I would like to display the name of the candidate. Done. Then I would like to display the email of the candidate. Done. The third, I would like to display position. No, because we are already on the position page, so there is no point to display position, but I would like to display the status of the candidate. Done. uh I don't know why these errors are coming again and again. Let's delete this candidate email. Done. And let me try again. Columns, status, and done. Yes, so now we have candidate, we have email, and we have status. Visibility, I'll leave it as it is. No validate input is there. Yeah, done. So now let me summarize. First, we have created a record ID variable where we get the position record ID. Then we are fetching all the job applications based on particular position. Then we are checking whether the job applications exist or not. If it doesn't exist, we simply say no job applications exist for this position. If the job applications exist, then we are displaying all the job applications in the data table. The next step, so we configure the data table. We said you need to select minimum one row in order to update the status of the job application or put the comments. Now the next step, we need a user a second screen where they can set the status or they can put some comments. So let's say a screen. And if you have checked this status field, so this is a pick list field and this has some values. So let's try to set up a pick list field with all those values. So I'm just dragging a pick list field, a name, let's say status. I will mark it as require because I want user to set some values. This data type should be text. Let user select multiple options. No, because the valid is one option only. Component type pick list choice. So now let's create a new choice resource. So the resource type should be pick list choice set. Let's say I'll give the same name status, and my object name is job application. The data type should be pick list, and then it will give all the list of the pick list fields which are available into job application object, because I only have a status pick list at the moment, so that's why I can only see status. And then you can decide what order you want to display the values. I'll just say ascending. Done. So now we have our pick list set up correctly, and let's say done. Yeah, because we need to give some name. Let's say decision screen. The status is already exist. Let's say status input, because the user will input the value. So it's all done. Let's add one more field. So let's say text, because I want the recruiter to set some comments, because when they said, let's say the candidate is rejected, so they need to provide some reason like why the candidate is getting rejected. So let's say a long text area. uh, Label should be comments. I will require this as well. And that's it. No further setup is required. Done. So now we have the job applications records and we have the decision screen. What next? The next is we need to loop on all the selected job applications, and then we need to set up the S object record. So let's see how. So if I click on new, let's say loop, so I am loop through job applications collection variable. So the collection variable should be the selected records from the data table. So the selected records from the data table will coming from this screen component, job applications screen. If you click, you will see the name of your data table. If you click, then you will see the selected rows output. So in this list, you will have all the records which the user has marked selected. The direction should be the first to the last, which is fine. And let's close this. So let's say we have 10 records or 9 records. Out of those records, I have selected 5. So 5 times it will go inside. And now we need to do a assignment. So here we need to prepare our job application record. So prepare job application record. So I'll create a new resource here. Let's say variable name should be job application. Data type should be record. I will not select this multiple values because I'm currently inside the loop, and I need to set each job application with their status and with their comments. So I'll choose job application, and that's it. And now here I will first of all set the record id. So the record id will coming from the screen component selected record. So let's say the screen component, not this. So because we are in a loop, we are looping the selected record. So I'll choose the record id from this record. So let's say current item from this loop and the record id. So I'll just try to explain it here again. So for example, we have 5 job applications selected. So the first one comes. So this is the ID for the first job application, which is going to the job application record. And then same the second, third, fourth, and fifth. So we will we will call this assignment screen 5 times to create 5 separate job application instances. But I will add more values here. Let's say job application status. Now this status, I need the value where the user selected the status of the job application in the decision screen. So this is status input. And I will also set some comments. So job application, we have a comments field. So this is also coming from the decision screen. If you remember, in the decision screen we have two input fields. One is the status pick list and the second one is the comments text area. I'll show you in a bit. So we have this assignment done, job application record id, job application status, and job application comments. I'll just close this and then I'll show you the decision screen. So we have a status. So the status value is going into status input and the comments value is going into comments. So that's why I choose the status input here and comments here. So now we have our job application record prepared. Now what next? We can we do the update here? We can update all the job applications, but no, this is not the right place to do the update thing here because we are currently in the loop. And we should always do all the DML outside of the loop. So the best way to do is we can do one more assignment where we are assigning all those job applications to the list of job applications. So we will create a list now. Let's say prepare job applications list. So I'm going to create a new resource here, list of job applications. Data type should be record. This time I'll mark as allow multiple values because I'm creating a list, I'm creating a collection. and the collection will be the job application collection, and done. So now instead of equals, I will say add, and then I will add my job application. So let me explain this again. So let's say we have five job applications. The first job application comes into the loop. It will prepare a new job application record where we have set the ID, the status, and the comments. And the whole job application record is now we are adding to the list of job applications. So at the end in the list, we will have a list of five job applications. I hope this is clear. So once our assignment is done, after last, we are going to update our job application. So I'm going to use the update records. So let's say update job applications. So the record or record collection, I will use list of job applications which I have used. So this will update all of my job applications, and that at the end I will use a screen flow. Let's say success screen, just to show that my job applications has been updated successfully. Job applications has been updated successfully. Success, and then let's say I'll just do the bold and in the green color. Why it is not setting the color? Yep, cool. And we can optimize this flow more, so we can add the 8-fold path. If there are any failures to the DML, then you can throw an error, or maybe you can throw some fancy error to the with the help of screens, but I'm not going to do that because that is not the part of this topic. So let's quickly summarize this flow. We fetch all the job applications based on the position. We have checked whether the job applications exist or not. If doesn't exist, simply say no job applications exist. If exist, we are displaying all the job applications in the data table. Once we have the data table ready, then we in the second screen uh, we are setting the status pick list field and the comments text area where the recruiter can set the status of the job application and put some comments. Once the recruiter has edit set the status and put the comments, then we are iterating all the selected job applications. In the selected job applications, we are then preparing the job application record for with the help of ID, setting the status and comments, and then we are finally preparing the list. Once we have the list, we are updating all the job applications, all the selected job applications, and once the update is successfully done, then we are uh, displaying a message that the job applications has been updated successfully. So now let's save this flow, and I'll do the activate. So now our flow is ready. The next step we need to do is create a quick action. So, and now the point is where we need to create a quick action on which object, because I said in the beginning that I need that functionality here on the position object. So I'm going to create a quick action in this object only. So let's go to the position object and to the button links, create new action. Let's say I'll use flow, and this is my flow screen flow mass update applications. I will name it, let's say, mass update applications only, and I'll click save. Now, second step, we have created our quick action. The third step, we will add this quick action to our page layout. So I will choose mobile lightning and I will search. So I drag my quick action to the Salesforce mobile and lightning experience sections. Hit save. And now I will see if I can able to see the quick action on the position object or not. So yes, I can see my quick action here, mass update application. So if I click here, cool. So something is weird, but I can successfully see 9 items. But I can also see a weird record ID instead of the name of the candidate. So we will see why. And then I can successfully see the emails and then also the status. Uh, if I go to related and view all, I can see there are 10 job applications, but I can only see 9 job applications because the one job application is hired and then the remaining 9 are scheduled interviews. And in my flow, if you remember, I have added a condition explicitly that I want only those job applications which status are currently in the interview process. Cool. So we can see the record successfully. The only thing is the candidate value is weird. So let's see how we can resolve this. So if I go to the flow data table Salesforce documentation, because the candidate is a lookup field, and if we directly use the lookup field on the data table column, that doesn't mean that we get the values here. So in order to display the name of the candidate, we need to create a new formula field with this. So that will help us to display the name of the record with the hyperlink. So let's create a candidate formula so that we can see the name of the candidate, and this will be on the job application record because we are displaying the job application records here. So let's go to object manager, job application, fields, new, let's say formula. Next, I will name it as candidate name, text, next, and I will copy this from here to my formula. And so here we need to put the record ID. So the record ID we have is in the candidate field. Let's use the candidate, and the name we have in candidate dot name. So it should be the r dot name. Let's look at the syntax. Syntax is good. I will choose treat blank field as blanks. Next, let's say visible to all for now. Next, edit into the page layout. Yes, save. So now we have this field. What is the next step we need to do is change the field name in our data table. So if I go to my data table and do a refresh, the refresh because I need to get the new field here. So let's go to the data table and configure columns, add column, and let's say, yeah, we have the candidate name. So done. So I'll drag this candidate name in the top and I'll remove this candidate. So we have candidate name, the formula field, which is displaying as a hyperlink, the record name, the email, and then the status as it is. Save as new version, save, and activate. So let's go back and refresh this page. So if I go to the mass update applications now, I can see all the candidates with the hyperlink. So this is the formula field with the hyperlink, which is displaying the name of the particular record. So now I have all the 9 job applications which are not get selected. So let's say if I choose all 9, let's say if I don't choose anything and just hit save next. So it says please select Please select minimum one rows. So let's say I select all the job applications. Next. So in the next screen we have a status. What status you want to set for all the selected job applications? I'll say rejected, and I'll put some comments. Let's say uh, after careful considerations, you have not been selected in the interview process. This is the email we generally got for every job. So once we have selected all the job applications, we have set the status, we put some comments, and and then I click the next. So now it says job applications has been updated successfully. Let's finish the flow. So if I go to the related, you can see if I click view all, you can see all the job applications have been set to rejected except the one which is hired, and then you can see all the comments. Now let's assume we generally got this email when our resume not get selected or our interview has not done well. So there was an automation in the background. If the status has been set to something, then the email has been sent out to the candidate. So this is how we can use the data table in flows. uh, you can definitely implement so many business use cases with screen flows with data tables. No need to write a single line of code. So yes, just to summarize again, we fetch all the job applications. We set some filters. You can set multiple filters accordingly. You can sort the list based on the way you want, and then we did the decision whether the job applications exist or not. If yes, if exist, then we set two new screens, one for the job applications, one for the input from the user, and then we loop through all the selected job applications, set the record, edit the record into the list, and then at the end we update the selected job applications, and then we display a success message. So that's all for today's video. But if you have any question, you can comment on this video. You can subscribe to the channel as well, so that whenever I create a new video, you will get notified. And also, if you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, here's the QR code. Feel free to scan this. You can drop me a message, and then we can discuss if you have any issues either into this topic or any topic of Salesforce. I would love to discuss with you. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Thank you and take care.